Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into SUI today, this layer one blockchain platform that's been
Yeah,
making some noise lately.
it has.
We got a bunch of questions from you guys about it. You sent over some excerpts from Binance Academy
Okay.
from their What is SUI article, and honestly, you just want to know if it lives up to the hype.
Right.
So we brought in our blockchain expert to help break it all down.
Happy to be here.
SUI is definitely
Sui's an interesting one.
interesting one.
Yeah.
So the article jumps right in, calls SUI the solution to like all the usual blockchain problems. Slow transactions, fees are way too high,
Yeah.
and a user experience that honestly makes you feel like you need a computer science degree.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, isn't that what every new blockchain claims?
Yeah. You're not wrong to be skeptical.
Yeah.
But Sui's approach, I think, is unique in how it tackles these issues. They're really aiming to be like the Apple of blockchain.
Okay.
Intuitive, sleek, accessible, even if you're not a crypto whiz.
Yeah. All right, you got my attention. So how do they pull that off? The article mentions things like Zoc login,
Right.
sponsored transactions. Are we really saying that instead of wrestling with seed phrases, I can just use like my Google account?
Yeah.
And developers can just like pay the gas fees for me.
That's the
Wow.
user-friendly experience they're going for.
Too good to be true.
Yeah, think about it. What's the biggest hurdle for most people getting into crypto?
I mean, it's
It's the complexity, right?
the
So
complexity.
SUI wants to remove those barriers. And with Zoc's login,
Okay.
you're leveraging zero-knowledge proofs,
All right, hold on.
which sounds complicated.
Zero knowledge proofs.
But essentially,
Sounds like
it lets you prove you control an account
something out of a spy movie.
without revealing private data.
Can you break that down a little bit more?
Sure, imagine. You want to prove you're old enough to get into a club
Okay.
without showing your ID. With ZKPs, you can essentially do that digitally.
Mm.
You prove you meet the requirement without revealing the underlying information.
Mhm.
In SUI's case, it allows for secure logins without sharing unnecessary personal data.
I'm with you. But how secure is it, really?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
I mean, we've all heard the horror stories about crypto hacks,
Right.
stolen identities.
No system is foolproof. But ZKPs are considered extremely secure. The math behind them is pretty complex. But the gist is it's computationally very difficult to fake a proof.
So Ziggy Cloggin makes it easier to get in. And sponsored transactions mean that I might not even have to pay fees.
Yeah,
This is starting to sound pretty interesting.
it is. And this accessibility is what they're betting on, to attract a broader user base. And it aligns with this larger trend
Okay.
that we're seeing in blockchain, moving away from like the niche tech world to more mainstream adoption.
Okay, so the interface is user-friendly. But what about the actual technology? The article mentions SUI's object-centric design
Yeah.
as a key differentiator, honestly. That went a bit over my head.
Think of it like this. Most blockchains, they manage accounts and balances. SUI manages objects. Each digital asset is treated as like a unique object with specific properties and functionality.
Give me an example.
Imagine owning a one-of-a-kind digital sword in a game. You truly own it.
Okay.
It has unique attributes, and you could potentially even use it across different games.
Wait, seriously, so my in-game items could have real value and portability.
Right.
That changes everything. But how does this object concept impact like the development side of things?
That's where the Move programming language comes in.
Okay.
It was specifically designed for SUI to manage these digital assets securely and efficiently. And this is particularly relevant given its origins in Facebook's Libra project,
Oh yeah, Libra.
which, as you know,
That was a whole saga.
had its fair share of scrutiny regarding security and control.
So Move is trying to avoid those pitfalls
Yeah.
while still enabling complex transactions. Interesting. But speaking of complex transactions, what about the SUI token itself? Like, what's its role in all of this?
Well, it's more than just another cryptocurrency for trading. The SUI token fuels the entire SUI ecosystem. It's used for staking to secure the network, participating in governance,
Oh,
and, of course, paying gas fees.
right, those gas fees. But wait, didn't you say earlier that developers could cover those for users?
That's a great question.
How does that work if the SUI token is still needed
And it brings us to another
for transactions?
innovative aspect of SUI, the storage fund.
Okay.
A portion of every transaction fee goes into this fund, which covers the long-term storage costs of data on the network.
So it's like a built-in sustainability model. Instead of just burning tokens or relying on ever-increasing fees, they're creating a system where the network can support itself
Right.
in the long run.
And that's crucial for building trust and confidence among users and developers. It's a sign that SUI's thinking long-term,
Okay.
not just chasing quick profits.
I'm starting to see why SUI is getting so much attention. You got user-friendly features, unique approach to managing digital assets, a sustainable financial model, and a market cap, as the article mentions, of almost $12 billion.
It definitely shows
So it's not just hype.
the level of confidence investors have
Serious money betting on SUI's success.
in SUI's potential to disrupt various industries.
It really does.
But the real question is, can they deliver on those promises?
Well, that's what we're here to unpack. Let's move on to part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll explore SUI's potential applications in different sectors. We're going to be looking at gaming, DeFi, and commerce, and see if SUI really has what it takes to revolutionize these spaces.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork. We know SUI aims to be the user-friendly blockchain.
Right.
But is it all just smoke and mirrors? The article dives into potential use cases, like gaming, DeFi.
Yeah.
These seem pretty standard, though.
Yeah.
But is SUI doing anything different?
That's the key question. Different how? Let's take gaming, for example.
Oh, we already talked about the idea of owning unique, portable in-game items. But think about the implications for game developers themselves. With SUI's object-centric design, they could build games where assets seamlessly move between different worlds, creating interconnected experiences we haven't even imagined yet.
Okay, now that sounds revolutionary. No more walled gardens, just a fluid ecosystem of games and assets.
Right.
But wouldn't that be incredibly complex to manage?
That's definitely a challenge.
Even with SUI's tech.
But that's where Move's focus on security and asset management comes in. It gives developers the tools to build complex interactions while minimizing risks. Remember, Move was designed to handle the complexities of a global financial system with Libra. So gaming, even with its intricate economies, should be relatively manageable.
So SUI could be the missing link, enabling true interoperability in gaming.
Potentially, yeah.
What about DeFi? The article mentions SUI's speed and low fees being ideal for financial applications, but haven't we heard that before with other blockchains?
Yeah, you're right.
What's the real advantage here?
It's about more than just speed and cost. It's about composability.
Okay.
DeFi thrives on the ability to combine different protocols and applications, like building blocks. SUI's object-centric design makes these building blocks more versatile and efficient.
Give me an example.
Imagine building a DeFi app where lending, borrowing, and trading happen seamlessly, all powered by unique digital assets with programmable properties.
Okay, I'm seeing the potential here, but you're making this sound like DeFi 2.0. Are we really talking about that level of disruption?
I think we are. The current DeFi landscape is fragmented and complex, even for experienced users. SUI has the potential to streamline this, making DeFi more accessible to the average person. Imagine managing all your financial needs, from savings to investments, on a secure, transparent blockchain platform, all without needing to understand the technical intricacies.
Wow, that would be a game changer. But let's be realistic. Regulators aren't exactly known for embracing disruptive financial technologies. Won't that be a major roadblock?
Of course, regulatory hurdles are a reality.
For SUI's DeFi ambitions.
And navigating them will be crucial for SUI's success. However, SUI's focus on compliance and security could actually work in its favor.
Okay.
By building a system that is transparent and auditable, they might be able to gain the trust of regulators, paving the way for wider adoption.
All right, so gaming and DeFi have huge potential. But what about commerce? The article mentions interactive customer experiences and brand loyalty, but that feels a bit vague. Can you give me some concrete examples?
Sure. Imagine a clothing brand launching a limited edition sneaker collection with SUI. Each digital sneaker could be a unique asset, verifiable on the blockchain. Owning one could grant access to exclusive events, discounts, or even unlock special features. In an augmented reality experience, it's about blending the physical and digital worlds in ways that benefit both consumers and brands.
So it's about more than just buying a digital version of a physical product. It's about creating a whole ecosystem of value and engagement.
Exactly.
Around that product, that's pretty smart. But couldn't brands just do that with existing loyalty programs and apps? Why do they need blockchain?
Because blockchain introduces transparency and trust. Consumers know that their digital assets are truly unique and verifiable, and brands can create scarcity and exclusivity
Okay.
without relying on centralized control. It's a win-win.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. SUI's potential impact goes far beyond just making blockchain faster or cheaper. It's about fundamentally changing how we interact
Right.
with digital assets, whether it's in games, financial systems, or even how we shop.
Exactly, and that's what makes SUI so exciting.
Yeah.
It's not just about incremental improvements, it's about unlocking entirely new possibilities for how we design, build, and experience the digital world.
All right, you've convinced me. SUI is aiming high, and the potential is huge. But with any new technology, there are always challenges. In part 3 of our deep dive, we'll explore the hurdles SUI needs to overcome, the competition it faces, and whether it can truly live up to its promises. Stay tuned.
All right, so we spent the last 2 segments exploring SUI's potential, its user-friendly,
Right.
innovative, object-centric design, and the applications seem vast. But let's face it, every blockchain comes with like a hefty dose of hype.
Yeah.
So let's get real. What are the challenges SUI needs to overcome to really make a dent in the digital world?
You're right to be cautious. The blockchain space is a crowded arena, and SUI is a relatively new player. Even with all its advantages, there are some serious hurdles they need to clear.
So what are we talking about here? What are the biggest threats to SUI's success? Is it competition, regulation, something else entirely?
What's a bit of everything? Competition is definitely fierce. We've got Ethereum, Solana, Cardano,
Right.
and countless others, all vying for the same developers and users. SUI needs to prove that its approach isn't just novel, but also offers tangible benefits that outweigh the established players. So it's a battle for market share, essentially.
Yeah, essentially.
But what about the tech itself? We've talked about SUI's advantages,
Right.
but are there any inherent weaknesses
That's a great question.
in its design or the move language that could hold it back?
Any new technology comes with knowns. Move, while designed for security, is still a relatively young language. There could be vulnerabilities that haven't been discovered yet. And SUI's object-centric model, while innovative, could also pose challenges for scalability and interoperability with other blockchains.
That makes sense. It's like any new invention, there's always a period of testing and refinement
Yeah.
before it becomes like truly reliable. But what about the human factor? We've talked about user adoption.
Right.
But what about developer buy-in? Can SUI attract the talent it needs
That's crucial.
to build out its ecosystem?
A blockchain is only as good as the applications built on it. SUI has been actively fostering a developer community with grants, hackathons, and a well-documented SDK. But they're still competing for talent with established platforms that have larger communities and more mature tooling.
It's a chicken and egg problem, isn't it?
It is.
Developers want to build where the users are, but users won't come unless there are compelling applications.
Right.
So how does SUI break that cycle?
By delivering on its promises. If SUI can demonstrate that it truly is the user-friendly, scalable, and secure platform it claims to be, it will attract both developers and users. Early adopters and innovative projects are key if they can build successful applications. That showcases SUI's advantages. That'll create a ripple effect, drawing in more talent and investment.
So it's a long game. SUI needs to build momentum, prove its worth over time. But let's not forget about the elephant in the room. Regulated governments around the world are still figuring out how to deal with crypto, and that uncertainty can be a major roadblock for any blockchain project. How's SUI approaching this challenge?
They're taking a proactive approach, focusing on compliance and transparency from the start.
Okay.
They're working with regulators to ensure SUI meets legal requirements and addresses concerns about security and financial stability. It's a delicate balancing act, but it's essential for gaining legitimacy and paving the way for mainstream adoption.
It sounds like they're trying to build bridges rather than burn them.
Yeah.
That's smart. But even with all these efforts, there's always the possibility that regulators could crack down on crypto, right?
Absolutely.
That would be a major setback for SUI, wouldn't it?
Regulatory risk is inherent in the crypto space. A sudden shift in policy could significantly impact SUI's growth, even if they're doing everything by the book. It's a risk investors and developers are aware of, and it's one that SUI will need to navigate carefully.
So even with all the potential, there's a lot that could go wrong. It's a high-stakes game.
It is.
But on the flip side, the rewards could be enormous if SUI succeeds. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we interact with the digital world.
Exactly. The stakes are high, but so is the potential. SUI is aiming to be more than just another blockchain. It's aiming to be the platform that brings blockchain to the masses, And that's a vision worth striving for.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've explored SUI's innovative technology, its vast potential, and the very real challenges it faces. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. SUI is a project to watch. It's pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain, and it just might be the key to unlocking a more user-friendly, secure, and equitable digital future. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to the Binance Academy article and other resources so you can continue your own deep dive into the world of SUI. Until next time, keep exploring.